Pranams, very dear sisters and brothers. It has truly been a blessed day for all of us. All the special guests, including our president, the security people, they were also impressed, very impressed that they never had seen such a crowd. Who maintained extreme silence. To them, it was something to witness. And most of them were so influenced, including the Deputy Minister of the state of Telangana, Governor of Himachal Pradesh, and a few other dignitaries. They were so moved that we like to come back here with our families and start meditations. Yeah? So now it's our egregore is really making a difference. People are able to perceive the impact of this egregore, the silent movement as we call. I would like to read and explain to you a little bit more on one of the most fundamental principles, according to Babuji, that he learned from Lalaji Maharaj. He had briefly mentioned it in Truth Eternal under this title called Some Principles. I'll straight go to one of them. The soul of a human being will be clean. I'll repeat. The soul of a human being will be clean in proportion to the power of discrimination he possesses. So since we are in this business of everyday evening cleaning, how can we make our process of cleaning, process of removal of impressions, complexities and impurities quicker, faster, and more effective? We're already doing it so well with subtle suggestions, with subtle sankalpas. But here, Babuji Maharaj has highlighted from Lalaji's description, what makes the difference is this ability to discriminate. What to discriminate? One of the first steps of sadhana chatushtaya is viveka. That's the first step. Discrimination. Discriminating right from wrong. That's a fundamental thing. What is cause and what is effect? Things that I'm going to do next, when we analyze, do we think that am I causing it or am I going through the effect of my previous impression? Or am I creating new one? When we indulge with such exercises, moment after moment, or whenever we get breathing time, breathing room, do we analyze ourselves? Things that I have done in the last few minutes, or what I'm going to do next, was it a cause or was it an effect? This simple exercise, though in the beginning can be difficult, but it can be very productive in long run. On another occasion, Lalaji tells Babuji Maharaj, which is there in autobiography, real discrimination is to know master as master and oneself as his disciple. From the surface of it, it looks very simple. But there is a hidden treasure behind this statement. How we can discriminate. Am I the master or am I the disciple? Think over it. When he suggests something to us, which he rarely does, but if he does, think many times before one can act. Even in mundane relationship with our brothers and sisters, or between spouses, or in the office, with subordinates, or with the bosses, or with colleagues, many things happen. Before I go into those details, Babuji fundamentally changed the entire approach of spirituality. It is okay. In his great benevolence, he said it's okay if you cannot love God or your master. Nothing wrong with it. But if you have a simple desire that, yes, I would like to arrive at this state of love, and still you cannot love, he prescribes constant remembrance. His logic is very simple, that when you love someone, you remember that person all the time. So by reversing this equation, by constantly remembering someone, you fall into love. But this is from innocent Babuji Maharaj, very simple. His mind was not dubious. We have faced so many things in our short span of life, and we have understood very well that not only in love, perhaps more, we remember people whom we dislike, whom we hate. Don't you think so? Whom do you remember the most, your loved ones or the people you dislike? People we dislike. So how is this going to help us? He has taken things for granted that when it comes to a guru, people will automatically love him. But I have repeated time and again in this message of this Basant Panchami that Lord Jesus was very lucky. He was crucified only once. The lovers of masters, they crucify their master many a times in their hearts. And yet, the saga goes on, the journey continues. Trying to make a difference, trying to see if one day he can or she can understand this complexity called master, and one is willing to surrender. It is okay. When a person is ready to surrender and accept everything, then the test of a master, that is he worthy of my love, befits. If you're not going to love this person, why test him? How many things do we do? What are the prerequisites or after effect of love, falling in love? Number one thing is you remember this person again and again. Number two, number two would be we'll have the sense or feeling of belongingness that yes, she is mine or he is mine. I belong to so and so. So when we reverse this equation also, love starts bubbling in our hearts. I belong to. Not only the master, but if you say, I belong to such and such organization, and you claim it with pride, automatically some bond develops between the organization as an individual. Why not with two individuals when you belong to each other? Sometime in 47 or 1948, Babuji wrote a letter to the wife of Sri Ishwar Sahai. He was his constant companion. I'm sorry, not to his wife, but to his mother, explaining why there are issues coming when a newly married bride goes to Sasural. Is the first problem that starts with is sense of belongingness. Do I belong here? If this feeling does not crystallize fast enough, then this family is heading for problems. Sense of belonging. Do I belong to this family? You may live in that house, but you can never become the member of that family if you do not develop this feeling of belongingness. Similarly with organizations. Do you feel you belong to Sri Ramchandra Mission? Then it'll be wonderful. On another occasion, Babuji Maharaj wrote a small paragraph in Sahajmart Patrika. He had written something very profound. He said, all the problems of this mission can be resolved if every member of this mission considers this organization as his own. He said, I have nourished this mission with my own blood. I will not allow anything wrong to happen to this organization. My blood shall flow before this mission is destructed. He would say that if the window of your house is broken, because of some storm, glass is broken of the window. Immediately you will repair it. Even though you may not have money, you'll borrow it from someone and say, I have to fix the window. Why? The security of the family is at stake. You'll fix the window because you have the sense, it's my family and I have to take care of my family. So he said, apply the same principle of sense of belonging to an organization. I belong to organization, I belong to my master, so and so is my beloved, so and so is my wife, so and so is my husband. This belongingness is extremely profound, lacking which we cannot develop any relationship at all. Second thing that comes to mind is when we love someone, automatically we spend more time with that person. We care for that person. We don't criticize this person time and again. We respect that person. So reversing all these things and applying the same thing to the organization you work for. Respect, spend more time, do worthwhile things. Let there be harmony. All this adds up, creating tremendous relationship in an organization, whether you are working for that company or you're meditating in Sri Ramchandra Mission or following a master or raising a family. All these attributes can be reversed in the sense, in the similar term, the way Babuji Maharaj says, you think or you remember constantly, and the person you're remembering constantly, one day you will surely fall in love with that person. Likewise, if not love, at least you'll develop some sort of bonding, some sort of respect, some sort of positive movement So coming back to this idea of discrimination, Lalaji considers this thing as summum bonum of everything, knowing your master as master and yourself as disciple. And don't digress this. I like to share. I will not go in many details, but I have spent almost my entire life with Chariji. Right from 1982 onward till his last breath. In the beginning, after Babaji's passing, we had a lot of issues. Who is the master? Is he really the successor? So there were a lot of issues related to the succession. With the help of Babaji Maharaj, everything was resolved. Within 3 months of passing of Babaji Maharaj, I came to terms and greater understanding that yes, he is truly the successor of Babaji Maharaj. The relationship built with Babaji, I had the relationship of father and son. With Guru, we'll have to have some emotional bondage. Guru-disciple bond can be like that of a father and son, or mother and daughter, or friends, or lover and beloved. One of the sentimental relationship will have to be built up, or purely as Guru and disciple, which was the case with Swami Vivekananda and Ramakrishna Paramahansa. As I was mentioning day before, that obedience is everything in this relationship. At every moment, whenever we are to take a transition from one stage to another stage, there will always be a test, always. First test, nature will create situation, you will not feel like meditating. It has always happened. When you are about to move to the next level, nature creates a hurdle. Nature wants to make sure that you are the true, eligible, deserving person who can go to the next level by one's own effort. When you are really struggling with your practice, take it for granted that the newer stage is in the offing. But precisely at this moment, you will lose interest in practice. So go to a preceptor, get this stage quickly over, take a sitting, 1 or 2, and get out of this situation as fast as you can. Otherwise, it's only going to be a U-turn. You'll come back again to heart. So these tests are inevitable. I have shared with you one of the, I would say, painful test, very painful test Babuji had to undergo the hands of Mother Radha. She had in her mind something. She tells Babuji Maharaj, I have something in my mind. She is in the brighter world. And she asked Babuji, please tell me what I am thinking, what is in my mind. If you pass this test, some reward is waiting for you. If you fail in this test, I'll request Lord Krishna to bring you down by many notches. He was horrified. Nevertheless, he could exactly mention what was in her mind and then prayed to Lalaji. He told Babu, Lalaji Maharaj, what would have happened to your reputation if I had failed in this test? Lalaji says, where can I find such a disciple who thinks like this? He's thinking only of my reputation. And he ordered all the saints and sages not to ever test Babuji again. But since he passed that test, he was given such a state which was not available to many of those bygone sages. Because of this, Lalaji prompted the ultimate to rush towards Babuji and initiate him. First human ever to be initiated by the ultimate. So such are the possibilities of passing, clearing the tests. Tests in the beginning will be very easy. Oh, I don't feel like meditating. But if you remove some laziness and this unwillingness and dislike for practice and gird up yourself and say, okay, no matter what, I will meditate. And you come out of that, new stage will begin. You can witness that time and again. On the day you don't feel like meditating and you make sure you meditate, you will start with a different, very new meditative state. New spiritual condition will unfold on its own. Then another harder test will come. And next one, and next one. The worst would be when Master asks you to do something. Test of obedience. Even though you may not like it, I've always done it, always. I've told Chariji many a times. One day he asked me to do some business in India. I went ahead with his advice, telling him very clearly, this is going to fail. But since you're telling me, I'll go along. Few of my brothers have witnessed to it. Many things like that, time and again. There will be differences. It is okay. But let us not create a situation where our names get rotted up or blamed. Oh, so-and-so did not follow the master. Follow completely. Even if your heart says, no, it's not good. That's what I have done. It's your choice. We don't ask people to do this or that. People often imagine. Recently I met one girl. She says, I often get a dream that you are telling me to date such and such a boy. I say many a time, we fabricate, our subconscious fabricates the dream based on our desires. You fast for 10 days or 15 days and you see, you'll start dreaming of samosas and dosas and all kinds of stuff. It's a fabrication of your own mind. So coming back to this idea of tests by master, it will always happen. Very rarely, very rarely, Babuji would directly tell a person to do something, very rarely. He says, I don't even give direct advice. Suppose if that person do not obey, he'll feel guilty, because of which he may not be able to face. And third thing, he'll be culpable for not obeying. Why should I increase the burden of grossness, of guilt, by directly advising anyway? He was extremely wise. Even our preceptors, we have to learn not to give direct advice. Abhyasis have to follow one's own heart and see how it takes you further. In certain circumstances, you can write directly to me and see if I can guide you with that particular problem. But always listen to your heart first. You need courage again and again, again and again. And to pass through this test, you need tremendous courage. Having passed the test and say, oh, I need to follow this. Once your mind is determined that I have to do this, though I don't like it, it needs some level of courage, some level of commitment. Sariji was also put through one tremendous test. Most of you may not be familiar. 2011, he got a message from Babuji Maharaj. I don't know what he thought at that moment. He was really cursing Babuji left and right. Why the hell, why in this world he's talking to me like this? But I told Babu Mahachariji at that time, Master, this is your test. He got even more angry at me. Then I repeated the story of Radha and Babuji Maharaj and the reward at the end of it. His test was quite different. Babuji told him, if you pass in this test, the place we have reserved for you besides us in the brighter world will remain. But if you fail in this test, you will not have this position. I mean, who likes to go through such tests? People say, I like to enter brighter world without undergoing purification. Purification of senses, purification of your desires, purification of your ego, or annihilation of your ego. Imagine all these politicians and gangsters, one by one entering the brighter world. Would you call it a brighter world? The tremendous sacrifice, personal sacrifice, regulation of indriyas, your thoughts, your actions, your intentions have to be regulated, and above all, this multi-headed ego. You cut one head of the ego, another sprouts up. You cut that one, third one sprouts up. It's a never-ending thing. That's why in reality at dawn, Babuji Maharaj, where you see that those 23 circles. He says circles of Maya are only 5, but circles of ego, they are 11 in numbers. There are many hurdles. And all the tests as we move on into Brahman Mandal, are related to ego only. At a lower level, in the Pinda Pradesh, prerequisite is generosity of the heart. To cross Brahmand and Parabrahmand, cultivating humility is the only criteria. So, I started this talk with the concept of discrimination and how well-trained mind is able to discriminate between right and wrong, what is beneficial, what is not, what is worth pursuing and what is not worth pursuing, what is good for my spiritual evolution and what is not good for my spiritual evolution. Simple things like that. Constantly analyze, build a true relationship with Master, the mission and the method. Respect the process, respect the institution, respect the person behind it. Life will be fantastic. Journey will be smooth. Otherwise, you'll form curvatures after curvatures after curvatures, self-created. I wish it happens to no one in our sanstha.
Thank you, Taji, for addressing all of us and for your words of wisdom. Dear sisters and brothers, tonight there will be a musical event where the dynamic violin duo Kumaresh and Ganesh will perform, along with the topmost mridangam artist Patri Satish Kumar and a well-known percussionist from South India, S.G. Pramad Kiran. To enjoy the performance, we request you all to gather here by 8 p.m. and the program begins at 8:30 p.m. आज शाम 8:30 पर संगीते शाम का कार्यक्रम होगा. सभी भाई बहनों 8 बजे मेडिटेशन హాల్ में बैठ जाए. ఇవాళ సాయంత్రం 8:30 మ్యూజికల్ ఈవినింగ్ ఉండబోతుందండి. సో వయలిన్ పర్ఫార్మెన్స్ ఉండబోతుంది. సో దయచేసి అందరూ కూడా మెడిటేషన్ హాల్లోకి 8 గంటలకి రావాల్సిందిగా రిక్వెస్ట్ చేస్తున్నాం. 8:30 గంటలకు కార్యక్రమం ఆరంభం అవుతుంది. ధన్యవాదాలు.